What if one day the world no longer welcomed you the way it used to? What if countries that once opened their doors with a smile suddenly started raising questions, setting higher barriers, and quietly showing Singaporeans the exit? In 2025, the global climate is shifting, immigration rules are tightening, housing is scarce, job markets are under pressure, and governments are placing their own citizens above outsiders. For Singaporeans, who are used to being among the most respected travelers in the world, this change can feel jarring. It's not always about being denied outright. Sometimes it's the endless paperwork, the silent delays, the stricter checks, or the subtle message that you no longer belong. This isn't fear-mongering, it's reality. Around the globe, new policies and attitudes are reshaping how Singaporeans are received. Some countries are pulling back their welcome mats, closing doors that once swung wide open, and making it harder to study, work, or settle down. Tonight, we dive into the 10 countries that are beginning to push Singaporeans away in 2025. Why is this happening, and what lessons can we learn from it? Let's uncover the truth together. Number 10. New Zealand. Kind people, careful settings. New Zealand charms with open skies and open hearts, but it is also protective of its communities, wages, and rental markets. For Singaporeans, the welcome is real when purpose is clear. The door narrows when plans are casual, when work bleeds into visit status, or when a study path looks like a vague bridge to somewhere else. Employers may hesitate if the paperwork feels heavy relative to a local hire. Officers look for proof that you will settle where you say you will, do what you say you will, and leave when you said you would, unless you have a strong legal route to stay. The sensation of being pushed out can come in slow motion, a renewal delayed, a landlord unconvinced, an employer who cannot wait another week for a permit. The counter is proactive clarity. Line up housing early, keep funds verifiable, and anchor your move to roles and regions that explicitly ask for your skills. In a place that values fairness, the clearest story usually wins. Number 9. Switzerland. Precision borders, disciplined opportunities. Switzerland looks like a postcard and processes like a watch. It is generous to those who fit its precise categories and careful with everyone else. For Singaporeans, tourist stays glide when you behave like a tourist. The strain comes when you drift into the gray zone, remote work while visiting, extended stays that start to look like de facto residence, or employer arrangements that do not align with quotas and cantonal priorities. Housing markets are tight, references matter, financial proof is a serious conversation, not a box to tick. You may never hear the words get out. Instead, you feel it in the quiet insistence on perfect compliance, the refusal to bend timelines, and the cool refusal of applications that are nearly right but not quite. The winning move is to respect the cantonal structure, seek legal advice early, and match your profile to programs built for your skill level. In a nation of precision, near misses are simply misses. Number 8. Qatar. Hospitality with high expectations. Qatar is welcoming and exacting at once. It prizes safety, compliance, and a clear social compact. For Singaporeans, the flight is simple, the skyline inspiring, and the rulebook very real. Sponsorship remains the cornerstone of most stays, and sponsors are expected to act with responsibility. Lapses in renewals can ripple quickly. Shifting roles without the right approvals raises questions. Housing often runs on formal requirements and timely payments. The feeling of being edged out rarely comes from a single decision, it comes from the system moving faster than your paperwork. The solution is humble and effective: build a calendar with every renewal, every health check, every step. Create redundancy in your plans so one change in job or landlord does not topple your whole setup. When authorities ask for documentation, give them order, not entropy. In return, you will find that clear compliance buys you not only time, but also peace of mind. Number 7. United Arab Emirates. Fast lanes with fine print speed bumps. The UAE is a marvel of modernity that rewards clarity, capital, and contribution. It can be fast to welcome and just as fast to withdraw if rules are bent or if sponsorship wobbles. For Singaporeans, the challenge usually is not entry but continuity. Visas are tied to employers, business structures, or specific residency schemes. When a job ends, the countdown begins. When paperwork lapses, systems act with crisp efficiency. Landlords expect promptness, banks expect transparency. If your life plan depends on a single sponsor, a single client, or a single renewal, you are balancing on a thin wire. To avoid the feeling of being hurried out, build resilience into your plan. Keep savings ready for deposits and transitions. Explore options that grant more independent footing, like categories designed for investors or highly skilled professionals. Read contract clauses carefully, and never assume a grace period that you have not seen in writing. In a region built on speed, preparedness is your seatbelt. Number 6. South Korea. Trendsetting economy, tightening thresholds. South Korea dazzles with innovation and culture, yet it manages its labor and housing markets with a careful hand. Singaporeans often travel easily for short trips. Friction grows when casual remote work piggybacks on visitor status, or when a scenic stay morphs into semi-permanent living without a clean legal bridge. Employers may prefer candidates who already hold the right status to cut risk and delay. Landlords want stability, and short histories can be a deal breaker. Health coverage, tax registration, and local compliance, these are not afterthoughts, they are the test. The push outward does not come from a single no, but from many small not yets that add up to a hard exit. The remedy is old-fashioned diligence. If you want to build a base, do it above board. Pursue the right visa class, prepare language basics, and document income and housing thoroughly. Respect the process and the process tends to respect you back. Number 5. Japan. Precision culture, precision screening. Japan respects order, commitment, and fit. It is a nation where small details speak loudly, and immigration mirrors that ethos. For Singaporeans, short visits remain smooth when plans are clear and timelines are tight. The pinch appears when visits stack into semi-residence, when remote work blurs the line between tourism and employment, or when employers seek to extend contracts without fitting strict occupational ladders. Housing can be formal. Guarantors matter. Language proficiency is not only a social asset, it often becomes a practical gate. A sense of being pushed out can appear as landlords saying no to short histories, banks insisting on more documents, and offices asking for proofs that feel endless. The way through is to honor the precision. Learn local workflows. Arrive with letters, not just intentions. When your contract is sponsored, make sure the sponsor is meticulous, responsive, and ready to answer follow-up queries fast. In a country where harmony is prized, the traveler who learns the music earns the right to stay for the whole performance. Number 4. Canada. Warm on paper, watchful in practice. Canada's brand is friendliness, but its systems are not naive. For Singaporeans chasing study, work, or residency, the checklist grows longer and the proof burden heavier. Schools want to see that you are choosing programs with clear career outcomes, not scenic detours. Officers look for ties to home or ties to local needs, and either story must be told with convincing detail. Housing pressures have made some communities wary of newcomers who are not clearly anchored to local jobs. Employers balance diversity goals with obligations to train and hire locals first. None of this is a curtain drop, it is a set change. If you arrive with vague plans, you will feel a gentle but steady current nudging you back. If you arrive with a clear role, confirmed funding, and a study or work track that matches regional priorities, you will likely find the current calm and navigable. The difference comes down to narrative integrity. Build a case file that explains who you are, why you belong, and how your presence benefits people beyond yourself. Number 3. United States. Opportunity with a magnifying glass. The United States sells a dream but delivers it through a maze. For Singaporeans, the welcome depends less on charm and more on category, work, study, visit, invest. Each path is a machine with parts that must align just right. Consular interviews probe intent. Border officers look for coherence between your story, your documents, and your digital footprint. Employers juggle compliance, audits, and evolving priorities. If a role can be staffed locally, pressure to do so rarely remains a mere suggestion. Overstays, even brief or accidental, echo loudly in future applications. If you move from study to work, or from one employer to another, watch timing like a hawk. The feeling of being pushed out comes not from loud refusals, but from silent friction, requests for evidence, long waits, or sudden policy interpretations that trap you between plans. The antidote is boring and powerful, be early, be thorough, be consistent. Keep copies of everything. Prepare for interviews as if your future depends on it, because it does. Make sure your skills map to real demand and that your employer stands ready to defend your case in writing, not just in warm words. Number 2. United Kingdom. The queue grows longer, the bar rises higher. The United Kingdom is a master of forms, frameworks, and fine print. It welcomes talent, but it also guards the gate with the patience of a librarian who has seen every excuse in the book. For Singaporeans, the door is not slammed, it is simply heavier. Skilled roles ask for precise salary bands, recognized sponsors, and credentials that map neatly onto local standards. Study routes require real intent, not just a ticket to time abroad. Even short visits can trigger careful looks if your travel history hints at extended stays or repeated border hops. Housing is tight in many cities, and proof of means is not a courtesy, it is a necessity. The tone is polite, the process orderly, and the expectations exacting. If you step forward with spotless documentation, clear professional demand, and genuine alignment with local needs, the system purrs. Step in with ambiguity, and you will feel the gears grind. To avoid that slow push outward, assemble a portfolio that speaks the local language, credential evaluations, employer letters, verified funds, and a plan that explains not only why you are coming, but also why the country gains when you arrive. Number 1. Australia. The friendly gate with a firmer latch. Australia has long been the land where opportunity wears a pair of boots and gets to work. For Singaporeans, that meant study routes that morphed into career plans, skilled visas that opened doors in health, engineering, tech, and hospitality, and lifestyle perks that made long weeks feel worth it. But listen closely and you can hear a different rhythm. Universities are under pressure to show that student seats lead to real skills, not revolving door migration. Employers are being asked to prove that local talent has a clear first shot. Short-stay visas can still arrive fast, but switching status, extending contracts, or bringing family along may feel like walking an obstacle course where the rules keep subtly changing. Landlords want longer histories. Banks ask more questions. At the border, secondary checks come with careful smiles and cool precision. This is not a dramatic eviction, it is a calibrated squeeze. The smart play for Singaporeans is to show hard proof of skills that match priority lists, secure written contracts that anticipate processing delays, and keep a clean, well-documented file that answers every question before it is asked. In a system that respects order, the best case you can make is the one that reads like a well-built blueprint. So, are countries really lining up to kick out Singaporeans? Not with bullhorns and banners. The world shifts in quieter ways, by raising bars, tightening definitions, and expecting travelers to act like partners rather than passengers. If you feel the air cooling at a border or the tone sharpening in an inbox, take it as a signal, not a verdict. You are not powerless in this story. You can stack the odds by mastering the rulebook, documenting your value, and choosing routes that align with real demand. Build a portfolio that answers hard questions before they are asked. Keep a calendar that never misses a renewal. Save buffers for the weeks when processes run on their own timetable, not yours. Most of all, remember that you carry a passport that already says a lot about reliability, competence, and trust. The world still wants what you bring, just make it easy for each system to see it. If one door nudges you out, try another with a better fit. Travel smart, work honestly, and tell your story in a way that turns suspicion into confidence. That is how you keep moving, even when the winds change.